Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nova Spotlight. Tonight, we're going to be speaking to Ajay Mathur and talking about the Talking Loud album. Welcome, Ajay. How are you today?
Thank you, Neil. Great to have me here. It's good. I'm good. Thank you.
It's a nice, relaxed atmosphere with the Nova interviews. We're just going to have a bit of a chinwag about yourself and about your various bits and pieces of music. So, give us a bit of a history of yourself and a biography of your trip through music so far.
Okay, so my name is Ajay Mathur, and I was born and raised in India and left India when I was 20, moved to Europe, heading towards Switzerland, and stayed here. I also lived in different parts of the world, including Los Angeles, London, Paris, but my home base has always been Switzerland, and that's where I am. I've been making music since decades. I started off as a teenager making music um, after being inspired by the Beatles, who I personally met in Rishikesh for the very short period of time when they actually were in India, you know, trying to meditate. I think George was the serious about it. And I was a teenager. I wasn't making music then, but that sort of changed my life, and I started making music since then.
So, what other musical influences would you say you've come across in your time in music?
Oh, lots of them. I've been totally hooked into good songwriters. There's so many of them, like Jackson Brown, David Bowie. He's
One of my
he's like
favorites.
my icon. I've loved him from from day one. And the great thing about him, I love because none of his albums are the same.
No,
He always makes different albums. And that's such a this fantastic way to make music and art.
reinvents
And I've been
himself on every
try to
album.
strive that kind of way. I want my music to be different,
Hmm.
each time. He's and that's he's my big inspiration when it comes to that. And I've always loved his music.
I've
Who
loved his
else?
music
I mean,
for.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix was an excellent guitar player, but he was also a really, really good songwriter. If you listen to the songs like Little Wing or Axis Bold as Love, Castles Made of Sand, these are the songs with really deep, meaningful lyrics. And of course, awesome guitar work.
True. So you've been kind of like following music for years so far, then.
Yes, yeah, I've been into this music. I mean, my family is was more involved into Indian traditional music,
Hmm.
but I always gravitated towards Western music. That's probably a little bit of a rebellion involved there as well as a little kid.
Okay. So
But
tell us a bit about your current works, the Talking Loud album. How did that come about?
yes, this is my fifth album. Just that as a solo artist, I've made albums before with my bands,
Hmm.
different bands and projects, and I've been producing music. I think I've got like something like 22 albums. Not mine, but also different artists. I've composed for different people. So after I took a 15 years sabbatical from the stage,
Hmm.
mid 90s, I started composing and recording music, and ended up with over almost 50 songs on the hard disk. So 1991, 2011, I released my first album as a solo artist under my own name. And since then, it has been a really good experience because I also got a Grammy nomination in the meantime. My last album, Little Boat, was awarded the best English language album of the year by the German Pop Foundation. And
Congratulations.
hey, thanks. And this latest album, Talking Loud, is now out and doing really well. How I came about to Talking Loud is was also quite a story because I record songs, I compose and record songs without a specific album in mind.
Okay.
I'm constantly composing and recording.
So
So
they
there's
don't have a continuous theme throughout an album. Is it more a
no, but the
section of
theme
individual?
comes there's a trigger point somewhere where a theme comes to my mind, or a theme becomes attractive and to me, and that theme takes over, and that's where the selection of existing songs
Yep.
and also composing new songs starts. So that thing came for Talking Loud. It came right after the shutdown, Corona shutdown.
Mm.
We everything got canceled. I mean, I'm not the only
Yep.
one. All the musicians. It was horrible. It was like like nothing moved. So I went back to just listening to my records. I was here on my. I got a couple of rocking chairs here as well. I was just listening to records. I got a huge collection. Listening to Beatles, which I love, and John Lennon solo albums, and then suddenly something came to my mind. There was a song I wrote right after Lennon's death, way back in 1981 or 82, just after that. That was a huge, huge shock for me, his death. And I
Shocked the
had to
world.
sort of find my way out of that despair.
Mm.
So that song, it's called Anytime at All, was written as a reaction to John Lennon's death. But I never found the courage and strength to actually sing it.
Hmm.
So and I forgot about it. It was just lying around. So I picked in 2020. I picked up the guitar and started strumming that song again. And it suddenly it had a completely different meaning for me. It was almost encouraging. As all this music is still there. you know, Corona lockdown or
It's
whatever,
kind of
but
a
this music is
rediscovery,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a new way of I mean, all the things you do, we used to do. We were completely busy before the lockdown came, and suddenly you have all the time at your hands, and this and you go back into music, and you find joy and comfort in music, and then this song sort of gave me a different meaning of John Lennon's. His work is just awesome. It's still there. It'll always be there. So that was a trigger for me to start Talking Loud, which is about acceptance. I had to accept the fact that I couldn't do anything. I didn't have control over anything in my life except the basic necessities, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, and I also had to accept the fact that I have to deal with myself. You know, being alone, you have to start dealing with yourself, which is not
True.
always easy.
No,
That
certainly
was
not.
also a learning curve for me. So this album, idea for this album about acceptance and self-esteem, self-motivation came out, and this song was sort of the trigger point. It triggered the album. So I started looking. I had songs which had a lot to do with that, and composed some new songs, and I really got motivated and finished the album remotely. We actually
Remotely.
remotely, yeah. Everything was done remotely.
That's fantastic when you think about
Yeah,
it in terms of having people's input from all over the world, basically just
yeah, yeah.
coming together and
It
then
was
making
literally
making
all
it.
over the world because I had a Swiss friend. I have a Swiss friend who actually writes scores for orchestra, and I had somebody in California and somebody in Latvia playing strings and cello.
See, out of all those locations, I would probably have picked Switzerland because it's such a beautiful country to go. I mean, I visited there once on a work excursion. I went to go and see the Matterhorn, and I was just like,
Yeah,
this place looks fantastic. It
yeah,
literally.
it is fantastic. It is really, really beautiful. I like it here. And that, this making of this album, the remote working was a completely new experience, a very good experience for me
Hmm.
because it opened up I opened up myself to any musician. So there are musicians from Chicago. There are musicians, of course, a lot of Swiss musicians, German musicians. I I work with a Californian mixing engineer who when my album finished, and this album was mixed by this guy in California. So
See, that's the one benefit of kind of, well, you can't really say it's a benefit as such, but COVID, from an experience from the music perspective, there was no performing of anything as such. There was a few kind of like performances from home, but then in
yeah,
terms of people's ability to kind of like draw more kind of like influences and listen to music
oh
again and create the creativity burst that's
yeah,
happened from that is phenomenal. I think
yeah,
we're only just
yeah,
seeing the crest of that wave starting to hit now in terms of
oh
the
yeah,
new material. The music coming out at the moment, the amount of new music coming out at the moment is great. And it's great for my show because I just get all of it sent through to me and I get to listen
I
to some
know.
fantastic tracks, and ones that really stick out. So, I mean, like, talk us through your kind of like main track from the album, Real.
Real is my current single, and real is also a little bit has something to do with acceptance. We do try to hide, in all the social media hype, we try to hide things, and we try to hide behind things. And actually, if you just that's my experience, if you just take yourself as you are, accept yourself, not only your blemishes, which we tend to focus on, but also the beauty which you have, and try to find that out. And then being real is something fantastic. It elevates you. It makes you. That's the
Gives
real
you
social
confidence.
connection thing. Yeah, it's and that's something which, despite of the lockdown, this feeling of being there, being real, people who I was close to, I could meet, there was not complete lockdown, and this genuine, um, coming together, talking about real things, being yourself, not hiding behind, hey, or hiding on the stage, performing. I actually even did a concert for two, my girlfriend and dog, in my garden, because I really wanted to perform. I said, since I can't perform in a venue,
Mhm.
why don't you guys go out and sit? It's beautiful weather, and I'll just perform. And suddenly, after second song, the whole neighborhood was out there.
Out the
We didn't
windows
announce
listening
it.
as well.
I didn't announce it. It was full. It's like all the windows were open. We got lots of
That's
houses around here.
fantastic. To be honest, you probably would have lifted their spirits as well with the
Oh
performance. Do you
yeah,
know what
oh
I mean?
yeah. They were great. And then I did those. These are we. I used to call them ninja concerts,
Ninja
or
concerts.
garden concerts. I didn't announce them. I just started set myself up outside and just started playing, and people just stopped and sort of, called each other. There was a lot of movement in the back going on, and people enjoyed it. I did like 3 or 4 concerts like that, which was fun.
Did you
You
get
know,
standing ovations? Well, you wouldn't get kind of like people.
yeah, yeah, people loved it. People applauded. I've got some videos out on social media about that. Those garden cons. I got videos from our neighbors as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah,
fantastic. That is. I
yeah,
think I mean, well, from a radio station perspective, when lockdown first happened, at my 9 to 5 job, I ended up working from home, but then I
yeah,
would literally turn my home computer off and then turn on my radio station computer
yeah.
and trying to get everybody to be able to broadcast from home with the kit
Mhm.
that they had. Some people did and some people didn't, but it, I find now that people are more comfortable creating at home than they are kind of like going into the studio. So yeah, it's definitely opened up different avenues of being creative within music, and like you said, kind of like getting the global connectivity element as well. There's going to be some fantastic collaborations and fantastic music brought out from all the different connections that have been made by that. And am I right in thinking that one of the tracks from the album has already won an award?
Actually, two tracks have won an award.
Two
The
tracks have won
first,
an award.
yeah, first one is "Stop the Shame." That won the Artists Forum International Music Contest, singer song best singer songwriter, indie song of the year 2021. That came out on, I got the news on the 28th of December last year.
It's a
The
very
album
late
wasn't
Christmas.
even out.
It's a late Christmas present for you.
Yes, yes. And the second one came recently, but it was for my video Deeper Than Your Skin. It won the Full Shot Magazine Short Film Award, the video award, Video of the Year 2021 award. That came like yesterday, I think, day before or something.
That's definitely
And Deeper Than
that's
Your
happy. That'll be a happy Easter present
Yes,
then.
and Deeper Than Your Skin is really a beautiful song.
Mhm.
Everybody loves it who listens to it. It's very empowering. It's a true story. It was inspired by some conversation I had with somebody um, who was going through hard times because of people telling that person what to do, and words can be very damaging if they're not really, if you can't take take yourself out of them. So this is about, you know accepting yourself as being beautiful, and words just somebody's opinion about you and shouldn't really hurt you, but it does hurt. And Deeper Than Your Skin is about, about seeing, like I said before, seeing your beauty
Seeing
more
your
than
own
your
self.
blemishes.
Hmm.
That's, and it's got a beautiful video. I did that with a video director in California. I've worked with him before, and
And again, the global
videos,
interconnectivity
yeah,
habits more.
video is about historical figures, uh, specifically female figures who've done amazing things in the past, in face of complete rejection and
Mhm.
complete discrimination, but they did it, and
Triumphed
they are
over adversity.
they are the beautiful people. They also I've got these people like Turing is also there, the first computer, the guy who cracked the code,
Hmm.
Alan Turing. And these people were not accepted for what they were back then, but they were fantastic people.
Hmm.
And if you watch the video, I'll send you the video. You watch the video, you will see that there's an empowerment aspect of that song and the images, you know, and that's what I love about that song.
Fantastic. Well, we'll definitely be playing a triple track promotion pack for you in terms of the various materials that we've mentioned throughout this interview. Like I say, if there's any other material that you'd like to share with us, feel free to send it over to spotlight@novaradio.co.uk. Got to get the Q in there to spot that one. And then in the meantime, it's fantastic to speak to you. Nice to kind of get in touch with the people that are actually creating the music. I'm extremely jealous of all the guitars that you have. And I wish you all the best for the future. And in the meantime, the interview should be going out, I would imagine, probably in a week or so's time. So feel free to share it on your various socials when we air it. And then
Absolutely.
just after this interview, we'll play the triple track promotion pack for the three tracks of your choice.
The three tracks of my choice.
Hmm. It's got
Uh,
to be real.
yeah, it's got to be real. It's got to be Deeper Than Your Skin.
Yep.
Beautiful track. And something more edgy would be maybe Stuck on 75.
Stuck on 75 as well. No problem at all. We'll play those three for you quite gratefully. Thank you very much for all your material and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, matey, anytime.